Hello! Okay, so I'm going to explain what I'm doing very quickly, and then jump into it, because I do feel like this is probably going to take a very long time, and I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time right up front, even though it's something that I'm very good at doing. So I have been playing this game for the podcast, and I noticed that within about 3 screens of the game, I had turned on the double skip to fast forward through story events while in the career. And it's the thing that caught my eye about that is the fact that when you turn that on, it absolutely just flies through the dialogue, and there's an enormous amount of it there. And in addition to that, there's also the races that you're going to participate in, which for the most part also have an option to just skip through. And that I could see as being sort of a mobile game thing, because you will go through, if you're like traveling or something, you're on the bus, you don't necessarily want to watch a horse race to do a thing that you're trying to get through. And I also noted that careers just seem like they take a very long time in this game. So I thought it would be funny, and I'm already regretting this decision, to do a playthrough as what it appears as though was intended. Reading all of the dialogue and watching all of the races. I know that I could also watch concerts, but that is like an extra button you have to press. If we unlock one in the middle of this run, I will watch that concert, but otherwise I'm not going to be going out of my way to lengthen this. I'm just going to play as it is set up by default. So we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna do a career. I'm gonna go with special week, because from what little I know about this game and the IP surrounding it, she, to me, seems the most like the Mario of this game. I guess she was like the main character in the first season of the anime, which is already more than I thought I would know about this game. But here we are. Okay. So we're gonna check your career info. That is one thing to note. Now that we're actually playing the game, I will be talking through my thought process, because I don't know what else I would do during this time, because there's going to be a lot of time to fill. I'm not very good at this game. I don't think that I'm horrible anymore, but I am not extremely great. So don't take what I'm saying as fact or as advice on how to play the game. I know there's a lot of that on YouTube right now, a lot of things that are like, oh, you're using your support cards wrong or something like that. That's not what this is. This is just demonstrative of how long a run in this game takes if you don't take the skip option. I think, honestly, I just did a run recently with another character who had a lot of long races, so I'm assuming that using the same sort of setup is going to be fine. Let's look here. I don't have many great horses, so we'll see. I have a lot of plus 12 wait, is that the right? No, this is the pink one. So I'm looking for somebody who gives stamina. Okay. This seems reasonable to me. And it's pace and late. I do tend to like pace chasers, because the races feel less boring than playing one of the other styles, but that's like entirely subjective and has nothing to do with the mechanics or my win rates with them. So this seems good to me. I will be borrowing Kita-san Black because that's just what you do, I think, at this stage. Oh, I do also want to say, I don't recommend watching this until after you have listened to the podcast, if you intend to listen to it. And then as a secondary recommendation, I also recommend that you don't watch this video at all. Because it is going to be extremely boring, I imagine. I mean, I'll do my best to make it not boring, but I can't guarantee anything, I guess, would be how I would describe it. Because it's going to be a lot of reading text, because I do not speak Japanese, so I can't just listen to the dialogue. Sure, I like that. That's fine. There are long races in here. I've heard it thrown around that, you want to have multiple stamina cards if you are running long races. I'm just gonna give this a shot. If we lose, that's great, because that's gonna shave a lot of time off of this. So I'm not guaranteeing that we're gonna win. I will be sad if we only get like 2 races or something, in which case I will restart the recording. But if we don't fail, this is going to take quite a long time. So it seems like a good time to experiment to me. I'm not going to like read all of the dialogue like off to the microphone. I will summarize things if I'm picking up on it. There's a chance that my eyes will glaze over and my brain will fall out of my ear, in which case I might miss some story beats, but I didn't even realize how long this intro section was, playing it before. I did watch it the first time that I played, but it did not watch itself in my memory. But yeah, I remember the director is setting up this scenario. My understanding, because this is a game that's been out in Japanese for like multiple years now, and just now got ported into, this is like the worldwide release of it. So I know that the careers normally have multiple scenarios, I guess, or like I don't know if they're like on an event schedule type thing. But yeah, this is the only one that is available currently. I'm already clicking through this faster than I'm actually reading it, so that's a bad sign. We're not using quick mode today. I'm actually not even 100% sure what... I don't think that I've ever done anything not on quick mode in this. I'm very nervous that this is going to take like 3 hours to do. I do, to some extent, love the sort of how little the community cares about this game's like direct messaging, because these are inspirations, but if you go anywhere on the internet, they just call them parents, which makes sense because it's like a horse game, horse racing. So that is sort of that's the inspiration for the mechanic. But it's understandable that they would not want to call it that in the game itself. That is one thing that I've learned, is that so in this scene, God, I hope I don't do this for everything. We have our character special week, eating a lot of food. Eating a lot of food in this game is usually a great idea, because it typically replenishes your stamina. But then I never get around to actually learning what all the events do. And so I will choose ones and then get disappointed when they don't give me energy back. And I said stamina a second ago, I did mean energy. Those are separate stats in this game. They even have an option. I mean, I guess a lot of games have this option. During the story part of the game, you do have the option to just skip all of that dialogue as well. Like the whole cutscene. So you can select a cutscene to watch and then immediately skip it, and then the game rewards you for doing it. By giving you carrots. So that's, interesting. I guess it's kind of like all in the design ethos of this game is to have I guess I don't know, the anime must be fairly popular in the sense that they have a lot of story to pull from. But I don't know. It feels like the integration in the game is not really like one-to-one or even close for that matter. Reading this could have given me some amount of information, because it took me a long time to realize what the like hierarchy of races were. Because there's like the beginner races, and then pre-OP, OP, and then G3 through G1. I did start out thinking that G3s were a higher level than G1, but that's also my inexperience with horse racing generally. Well, I should play a little bit fast, I suppose. But I do need to get my bearings here. If she is a pace chaser and we're doing long races, we need like some decent amount of stamina and power. Which is problematic because it means that we're focusing kind of on 4 different stats right now. I'd like to level up my friendship with Kita-san Black, but Guts is generally speaking not a stat that you want to raise from what I've heard. Which is interesting. This is another thing that I've just kind of heard through the grapevine, but don't have any real experience with myself. Like, I don't have the sample size necessary to make this. Like, I haven't run calculations or anything. But apparently the Guts stat has, like, functionality. And I think this is true of like all the stats. They have functionality that is not yet in this version of the game. Which I understand like certain content not being available from the beginning, but if they made changes to like the way the game like figures out how the horse racing goes, that just seems crazy to me. But like maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe some of the horses that you start with are like underpowered because of power creep and implementing that change. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't pretend to understand how gacha games run their business, so there's that. I'd like to point out at this point, I admit I've been going slow because I've been kind of doing some setup, talking about how the game works and all that. But we have done 1 training so far, and we are 15 minutes into the recording. That's kind of scary. Though they do a lot of setup at the beginning. I assume it will be faster afterward. On skip 2, this flies by. I think the thing that strikes me about it is with the amount of text that's in the game. Like, people wrote this text. But it feels so inaccessible because of how much of it there is right in a row. It feels like such wasted effort to some extent, because I can't imagine many people are reading all of the text, even reading it once the first time that they see it. Because that's even hard to tell, because when you do different events and things, on skip 2, it's just going to fly right through it. It's not going to be like, this is a new thing, do you want to stop and actually read it? It just skips it. And then you can use the log to like scroll back through, so it feels like this even sort of solves that problem. So, I don't know. Why even have it in the first place, I guess? Also, it's interesting. It's not interesting. It's something to talk about during a piece of content that will need a lot of things to talk about. This is a roguelike game, in the sense that you have runs with random encounters to try and, beat like an eventual final boss, in this case, the Ura finales. Or you can kind of consider it beaten when you've, like, finished all of your goals, which I support. I think that makes sense as a win condition for this game. But it doesn't really do anything to bring that into the narrative elements of the story. I'm going to go with Stamina here because we have a hint and Sweep Tosho. As a card, gives you a lot of speed when you are training with her. She has, I don't know what the exact stats are, but there are buttons that you press that show what the cards do, and she has high numbers in some of them. Oh, but yeah, it doesn't incorporate the roguelike elements necessarily into the narrative. Like, every time that you win, you are the first ever to win the Ura finale, which, I don't know. I feel like we've moved past that in recent years in roguelikes. We tend to have games that actually, like, incorporate those elements into them. Hades dying and being sent back to the House of Hades, or like games like Loop Hero that have like an explicit time loop. This one doesn't really. I tried to do a run with King Halo one time, and it was miserable. I feel like I died in like 3 races or something. That doesn't really mean anything. I may have just screwed it up or gotten very bad luck, but here we are. There's a lot of drama happening. And also I've never seen this screen before. I mean, I have, but it was on screen for like 2 seconds. Interesting. It's an enormous vehicle producing an explosive noise. I will compliment the game's visuals insofar as it seems like there was a lot of effort put in compared to, I guess, what I expect from the style of like talking head games, where normally you would just have like a static image or like a very lightly animated. Characters will like run in to frame. There are a lot of like, they're canned animations, but there's more of them than I would expect to, especially given the amount of text in the game that they have to react to. I do like that she has a fan with her job title printed on it. That's a very personalized piece of gear. And it is something that I had noticed before because you can get the director's fan as a reward quote. I don't know. It just like pops up on the screen. I think it gives you more stats at the end of the game, which do matter. Once we get back to the thing, I can explain some of the stats, or at least explain why you may be losing runs and stuff. Because I sure didn't know. Notably, I'm not letting the text scroll. That would be an even further way to make this take longer, if you really want to, for some reason. Yeah, everybody tells you this is. I play. This is a conversation I should have during one of the races. I have. This is not my first ever gacha game. I have like a brief understanding of the genre, at least as of like this year. But similar to all gacha games I've ever seen, every character loves you as the as the main character. You are very much a chosen one, best trainer of all time. Though it is interesting to me that this character has like actually kind of a lot of dialogue, like the choices that you can make, which are usually not choices because otherwise the skip function would make it would take slightly longer, which makes the game, as you can tell, entirely unplayable. But that's kind of the gist of this scene, is the director and the other character whose name I forgot, despite it being on screen for the last like 10 minutes, are telling you that you should train a horse to win this race because they think that you look like you might be like super good at it. I don't know what about that scene made her mood go up. I guess she's just excited about the prospect of racing infrastructure being placed down. Oh, right. Yeah. I was going to talk about stats a little bit. Not stats specifically and what they do, but stats and how you get them. Because the legacy, the roguelite part of this system, we saw at the beginning the inspiration. I talked a little bit about legacies. Grant, at the end of the career, you will get sparks, which are like stats and then a number of stars, and that indicates I'm gonna go for the 17% speed because it's got 3 training on it. Worst case we fail, it's not that big of a deal before the first one. But when you get sparks, you get it grants any new trainees stats on top of that. So when you first start the game, you will lose often because you have no viable inspirations. And it's a difficult to understand game, and it's intentionally obscured. So it is kind of odd. Well, it's not odd, I guess, in a roguelike they do want you to like have to play it multiple times, but then the game also needs to hit you with the dopamine on repeat, so they do want you to win eventually. So it doesn't take too long before you get like, even just like anything that has like, once you've run like 3 times, if you get anything resembling a decent spark, you will have a good head start on stats, and you snowball in this game pretty well because if you win races, you get skill points, which you can use to then win more races, etc., etc. That's how video games work. I don't need to explain this, I suppose. Oh, okay. There's a character in this game whose name is apparently Happy Meek. Who I've never seen or heard of before, despite being on screen presumably in every game that I've played. This is not new information to if you know anything at all about the game, because people love to talk about this. But the all of the horse girls, all of the Umas in this game are based on actual Japanese racehorses, which wouldn't excite me that much. I will admit I'm not that excited, generally speaking. This is part of the reason why you should listen to the podcast first, because there are going to be some spoilers and probably some things that I talk about in both. But I do like the fact that they use the actual history of those Japanese racehorses to guide the like careers in like a top-down way. I'm trying to remember who it was. I read something like there's a character whose career is like a bunch of long races in a row, like medium and long races, and then her last few races are all miles and sprints, like the shorter versions of the races. And the actual horse apparently came from a line of horses who are all good at very long races. And then later, it took people a long time to realize that they were struggling because they were just more apt for the shorter races. So the fact that they took this, like, what should be historically basically useless trivia about, like, a specific horse. I know some people are very into horse racing. It's not me. I don't understand it. I've watched the Kentucky Derby 1/9 of one time because it was on at a bar. It is cool that they incorporated it into the game. So yeah, so now I have low energy. Pretty much any time that it's like only blue color, you cannot do training. 64% is too high of a risk, and even 25% on a wit is not worth it at all. So you just want to hit rest on that one, from my understanding. Once again, I'm kind of going through what I'm thinking in my head. But don't take my word for anything, because I don't understand this game basically at all. Oh, I know Haru Urara, this character here, is a popular horse in the game and in real life. I've probably more in the game because I once again, do not know how many people are super into horse racing. But apparently she lost a lot of races but kept going, and people sort of personified like an undaunting spirit onto the horse because of this. And that's how they characterize the character in game. So this is a choice. This choice matters to some extent, and you can kind of get a clue by reading what the event actually is. But when you're on Skip +2, that requires you to read, and you're probably doing this while you're doing other things, so you won't do that. So a lot of people just memorize what the events are. I am certainly not at that level yet. I would guess. And I feel like I should know this because, like, I've been playing the game and I don't think I'm using any new cards. But, actually, I have absolutely no idea what these are going to do. Study to a rhythm, maybe speed, staying motivated, maybe stamina. Let's test that. I'm going to say this might give me stamina. It was wit. It didn't make any difference at all. But maybe it was wit and a mood increase. Hard to say. I've heard that it's usually better to choose the top option in most situations. We're gonna go speed here because 21 speed is a lot early on. Because we have 3 friends. The friends up here are the 6 cards in your support deck plus the director and then that other trainer. And when they show up on the side of the screen there, it means that they are like attending that training, which can give you stat bonuses, and it improves your friendship toward them. When you have high friendship in like the orange, they can start showing up. You'll get a rainbow border around the training button, and a rainbow border up here, and a rainbow border here. It's basically impossible to miss, and we should start seeing it fairly soon, because Kita-san starts with a high friendship rating, and that's going to increase essentially the effectiveness of your training by a good bit. Sometimes, and not this time, when you get that screen, I think it's just like a flat number of times, but like I haven't really been paying that much attention. I've fully forgotten what I was saying. This is a thing that happens when I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. Oh yeah, it's some set number of times that you do a training, and your training facilities will upgrade. We'll see that obviously in this run. And that is a way to get higher stat gains from a certain thing. It also makes certain things, which I'll talk about once we get back to the training screen. It's going to give me a useless skill, but it doesn't tank my mood, which is why I'm choosing that one. I do like that Sweep Tosho just wears a witch hat at all times, and is themed like a witch, even though this is like a game that really doesn't have anything even resembling like magic or anything in it, so that's fun. Just a fun character trait, I suppose. But yeah, so speed will raise, like, speed raises power, stamina is gonna raise guts, power is, yeah, they're linked in that way. And I think having a high level on one training facility really kind of like disincentivizes you from using the other training facilities a lot of the time. Because it seems like you just get enough stats. Like, you'll get to a point where if I train speed, I'm going to get as much power as I would from training power, because I rarely train power beyond like level 2. Which could be a mistake. Need to emphasize as much as I can. I'm not extremely good at this game. I do think we go stamina here because we want to raise these friendships. These are probably my two most important cards, stat-wise. If you've been following the game at all recently, Kita-san Black is like the card that I'm borrowing. Is like the super rare card that everybody wants to have right now. Because basically legacy of people who have played the game before have said that that card is extremely strong, and from my understanding it's mostly just for stat reasons. Like, it's not the events or like skills, it's the fact that she has a high % chance to show up and give you friendship training on speed, so you'll increase your speed, and her friendship levels up relatively quickly. Maybe even very quickly. Could be the fastest in the game. I couldn't tell you, but but that's my understanding of it, and why I've been doing that. I've been kind of okay with just following the basic wisdom of the game, of people online, rather than figuring it out for myself, because some of the stuff feels impossible to figure out. I got an idea because Gold Chip wanted to eat spicy flamin' hot curry, apparently, which increased my stamina. I guess that makes some amount of sense, flavorfully. Flavorfully in this case not being a pun, but may as well be. This is not like a exciting guts. I think I might just train Stam here. It's not really raising characters that I need quickly, but I am gonna need stamina fairly soon. Which, if you check the playhead on the video. Fairly soon might be a bit of an overstatement, but we'll see. I could have, hypothetically, I could have streamed this, but I feel like it would have been even more nightmarish than how it is right now. So this stamina level, when you have like a little bit of green in the bar, it can sometimes be worth it to train, but I think a speed training here would not be throwing. 18% is not that high, but like 2 dudes, I don't know. I feel like I just rest and then get ready for after the make debut. There's no requirement to win the make debut race. You probably will anyway. But, you know. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this entire part of the world of this game. But the horse girls are horse girls and also students at an academy. And also they're J-pop idols, which is, I feel like, jumping the shark is really not the term when you are talking about a game having too many themes in it, or a story having too many themes in it. But, like, it feels like such an unnecessary extra step, and I don't know how much it's contributing. I mean, it certainly gives them more stuff to write endless walls of text about, but, yeah. Alright, so we're in the junior make debut. Like I said, you're under no obligation to actually win this race, even though you normally do. Sometimes you don't. Because there's some random elements in here. Quite a few, in fact. And the snowballing. Once you've beaten a race in any career, you're able to just click this view results button, and it's just going to show you the end result of the game. All the calculations are run in like a second and a half. So this entire function is just a cutscene in order to make it seem exciting. We won't be using that button in this run, obviously, but it is there. It's something to note. These animations are also just going to take a long time. There's not much we can do about it. But what I was saying is the idol part, it is giving them things to write about, but it feels so on the back foot as far as like the themes, how the themes actually go. But it just sort of shows up occasionally, and it always takes me by surprise. Like every time I've gotten a concert unlock, I'm like, oh, like did my game crash? Or like, is there, what happened? What am I looking at? Right, so this is a race. Races are largely determined by stats, and as you can see, it starts with like a wide spread. This is probably true of actual horse racing as well, but there are essentially different running styles that you can choose from. Front runners are going to be like the people who are way out in front right now, the idea being that they just maintain a high speed throughout the entire race. Pace chasers, which is what I'm doing right now, stay behind them and wait until the end to like really kick it into full gear and overtake the person in the lead. And then there's late surgers and end closers, who honestly kind of play, or they look like they play similarly. There's essentially like two packs. There's the front pack and the back pack. And then late surgers show up near the end of the race and start going, and are in that second pack. And end surgers just hang way back and use like no stamina, and they're apparently, I guess, all about like power. I feel like I've only really ever played one. But this is pretty much how every race tends to go, is that you'll hang in your preferred area, and then when you get to this part where they take the like standings off the top of the screen, then everybody starts going crazy and ulting and using abilities and shit. It's taking everything. I had to take my hand off the mouse not to skip through that. I'm so used to doing it. But yeah, so we win the first race, which is good. Which means that we will probably have enough fans for whatever the second race is. I didn't look that closely at the career. I might just have like a fan goal next. I'm not sure. What I should have considered, though honestly it's going to be a drop in the bucket for the rest of this. Or compared to the rest of this video. But I should have chosen a character who ran short races. Because the length of the race does affect the amount of time that it takes to watch the race, which I guess seems obvious, but you might think that they abstracted. They don't. It actually does take a while. I don't understand. So you start the game in the junior year. And then there's classic year and then senior year. I think that's all of them. I'm not sure. And I don't know what any of that means. I can understand junior and senior, I guess, but I don't know what a classic year is in terms of horse racing, which I assume is where the term comes from. Like, I don't think that that's like a Japanese school term as far as I'm aware. I peaked in my classic year personally. Oh boy. Okay, so I have 14 turns, and I have to place top 5. This is kind of free. A lot of the early races are sort of free, for a lot of the careers that I've played, where it'll just be you have a lot of time to sort of build stats, and they tend to be shorter. I think there are a couple of racers that have multiple races back-to-back right in a row that can be kind of challenging. But for the most part... Okay, this is insane. I actually did not realize that this reporter character was different than the trainer character. Which is dumb now that I'm thinking about it, but that's just how little time they spend on screen with Skip on. I think I had like a vague understanding of the fact that this was a different person. Wow. I am unobservant. This is a bad reporter. I'm sure anyone would say a very press-friendly line like, "I'm here to help my UmaMusume achieve her dreams," as opposed to what I would normally say, which is like, because it's my job. But she's just like, amazing! I'm moved to tears by this. I guess it's kind of her character is that she's a bad reporter because she immediately misquotes you twice. Now that I'm realizing that the director's fan says different things every time that she opens it up, I kind of like it more. I didn't dislike it before, but now I kind of like it as a character thing.
私の理論では
This is actually appropriate to my current situation. I wasn't sure how long this was going to take, but I knew that there was a chance that it was going to take literally hours to do. So I got up early today. I am not a if biwa haya hide. That's definitely not how you pronounce that, by the way. Is concerned about messing up your internal clock. I have messed up my internal clock since my earliest days of life, and I'm basically incapable of waking up like at a reasonable time. So I got up early today because I didn't want to edit this video. I wanted to kind of do it all in one go. And it's been... I mean, obviously it was a good idea to get it done because I still have like multiple hours before I have any responsibilities. But I've never been a person who can wake up early. Like, I went to... People say, like, oh, you'll get used to it, but, like, I went to school. Like, public school. Where I had to get up at 7 in the morning every day for 12 years. And I just didn't sleep. I just, like, didn't sleep when I was in high school and shit. I would be up super late, and then I would sleep for, like, 3 hours, and then I would sleep on the weekends. This is not important information to the game, but I feel like we make children go sleep deprived a bit too often. 2 people. I don't know how. I do need power as a pace chaser because you need to be able to overtake at the end. I don't know how much power is good to shoot for. I don't remember if I ever finished the thought from earlier, but you need, like, in order to get sparks in a stat, you need to have you can get a spark at random. I'm just gonna train speed because I think that's usually a good idea. You can get sparks at any stat level because it just randomly chooses a stat to give you a spark in at the end of the game. But if you have over 600 and then again at 1100, it ups your chances of getting a 3-star spark. Actually, I'm gonna go power here. I would like to get sweep up to orange if I can. And she'll probably just need one more. Oh, it plays different music when you don't have it in skip to indicate when you're getting a facility improvement, so that's nice. That's good to know. I mean, it's not good to know because I'll never experience it again. There's, like, not an impossible chance that this is the last run of this game that I ever play. I'm recording this very close to when we're doing the episode on it, and I've already put, in my opinion, enough time to understand what I'm doing for the most part. So yeah, sometimes you'll get an event that just says, like, go fuck yourself, which is a good thing. It's a video game, it's a roguelike, it needs to have adversity of some kind. But it is discouraging. The mood boosts are... Your mood is important. It's especially important in races, from my understanding. Your performance is enhanced by having a high mood. But in training, it's like I think it's a 20 and a 40%, or maybe a 10 and 20% difference in stats gain, which can be a lot at times, but mostly later in the game. So it's not like a huge deal right now, and recreation is probably not worth it. You fix that mood down. This should get me to orange with sweep. Yeah. Hey, alright. Well, I'm almost out of energy, so I'm not going to be able to do this, but we did get our first friendship training. So, speed level 2 with a friendship with Kita-san Black gives us a 21 in speed. And that's a level 2 that gives us a 9. That I also have nobody in this one, so that's kind of a bad comparison, but it's a significant stat increase if you can land them and you do normally want to take them. Especially like when you're constructing your deck, which I find to be a weird term for the support cards, because you only have 6, which is hardly a deck. That's not even a hand in Magic the Gathering. But when you construct your 6-card deck, you're looking for stats that you actually want to increase, and those are the stats that you're going to get your friendship trainings in. So almost always the friendship training is the thing that you which it smooths out some of the decision curve, which I don't know how much depth this really has in terms of like the decisions you make during gameplay. That's the thing I'm going to have to meditate on before we do the episode, because it is very complex and there's a lot of stuff happening. But it seems like you kind of make the same choices all the time, and it's just sort of a flowchart based on what your career looks like and what your running style is. I think You Should Be Honest and Apologize is Lone Wolf, but I take a mood down. Even through this, I did not pick up on what that was about. I don't remember what she's apologizing for, and I just read it a minute ago. I do know that Sweep Tosho hates vegetables, though. Yeah, okay, so Lone Wolf and a mood down. Here, my energy is high, so I don't want to take a recreation, but I would potentially consider it at normal mood, and may consider it next turn. I think we go power for the friendship boost, so we're still early enough, I think, that it's worth just trying to get everybody to orange. I mean, it's always worth trying to get everyone to orange, but that... It seems like only... every event only takes place during lunch. It's just a big part. Lunch is a huge part of UmaMusume. UmaMusume? I wish that we're veering into dumb conversation territory. When we released the last episode, I had to put in the name, or in the description, the next game that we were doing, which is this game. And I had been playing the game already and knew that in the bar at the top, normally I play this in windowed mode, it says, it doesn't say Pretty Derby at all, it just says UmaMusume, and it's all one word. But everywhere that you look online, it's listed as 2 words, UmaMusume, and sometimes it's like capitalized. I think in Japanese it is just one word. And it's just like the word for horse and the word for girl, if I remember correctly. Very literal name in that sense. But in English, in like the global release, it seems like it may be split into 2 words. So I've been using one word most of the time, but I think I put it in as 2 in that description. I'm not 100% sure. But it's just weird that it seemingly has 2 different acceptable spellings. Anyway, I had some desserts with that trainer. If you were curious what was happening there. I think we go. So when you have the exclamation point, it means that you have a hint, which will give your Uma the possibility of getting a skill. I have found that as somebody who's like newer to the game, I don't have the ability to build decks that contain skills that are tailored for each character. I kind of just have to play the good cards that I have. There's that music sting again that I did not know existed. So most of the skills I get, I feel, are kind of inapplicable, but normally that's fine based entirely on the fact that you don't get enough skill points most of the time to get all the skills you want anyway. And like your character will have skills built in, and you can have them start with other skills if you increase their potential level. That's just the thing I completely forget to do all the time. Like, I think this is a one potential level special week right now. And I could easily make it too. I definitely have the materials to do it, but I just have not done it. On this event, if you choose It's Important to Train and Have Fun, you will get Practice Perfect, which makes it less likely to fail your trainings by a couple of %. It's not like a huge boost, but it is, I don't know. It's exciting to see this pop up, I guess. I'm not sure. Okay, see. 20 speed on that. Don't need to do any of this. I should train Wit. I have not been training Wit at all, and I absolutely should. I'm not sure when the correct time to do that is, but Wit affects how often you activate skills, and it prevents you from getting rushed. Being rushed is like just losing the race, essentially. It like increases the amount that your stamina drains, which is not a stat you can check. I'm just trusting what somebody told me on the internet. So having a higher Wit is just good most of the time. Oh, there's another character, TM Opera O, who also often shows up in that like ethereal plane. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, I guess it's like Dream World? I don't know. See, I just kind of got a free mood up there, which is nice. So she had a vision about how to do her. Oh my god, the acupuncturist? Okay, I had to look this one up because it's the weirdest event ever. And I guess a couple of people do it. Or have this training event. If you gamble, you can get some stat increases and other bonuses and stuff. So I might do it just for like the fun of it, I guess. But yeah, it's like she's wearing a mask, which if you're a medical professional, which I'm not going to comment on acupuncturists and whether or not they're medical professionals right now, but that's a bad sign. I feel like your identity should be known if you're going to be doing anything that is, related to people's health. But yeah, she I'm not sure what her motivation is here. But there is a choice that will show up eventually. Okay. I want to say that... Oh boy, I sure don't know. Activating the strength chakra, I know, is the hardest one to hit. It's like got the lowest chance. And I think it just is all of your stats or something. I don't know what these two do at all. And the charm one is you get the charmed ability, which just increases friendships faster. And I know that this has a very high chance of succeeding. This is what I've always chosen, and it's never failed on me. So let's go for the really low chance just to see what happens. We're gonna activate the strength chakra. Yeah, go ahead, let's do it. This could jettison the run, and honestly, it's been over an hour. I feel like my point has been made, and we have not run in the second race yet. So this could be good. Mood down, and then she loses stats and gets night owl. That's great. So I would recommend not doing that. Though it's kind of funny. I don't know. Oh, I guess there is some magical influence, I guess. I forgot that the three goddesses who are your inspiration do show up from time to time, which is kind of spooky. So don't take what I said earlier about there being no magic as 100% accurate. I could do a training. I do want to get rid of Night Owl, but this is fairly low risk. I'm gonna have to rest before I do anything else anyway. If we would like to succeed, my best bet is probably going to be to try and get everything cured and my stamina back up by summer, which is going to be after this next race, and then like 2 more turns, question mark. It might be a little bit more than that. But as long as I'm good by then, I think it should be fine for the most part. This is what I'm talking about. This animation, no one needed it, but like, it's here. They put the effort in to make that happen. Which isn't like a huge accomplishment, I suppose, but it is more than I expect from a game that has this many like unique scenes in it. So there are people working on this game who are working for sure, despite the fact that nearly every player is going to be playing with Skip on. And then I get a hint for a skill that I'm never gonna use. So we're gonna hit the infirmary one more time. I'm assuming since this is okay, they listened to Special Week this time. So the infirmary cures people by divine inspiration. I mean, that's fine. They use divinity to cure diseases, and they just allow sketchy manicurists wearing masks to conceal their identity into the school, so their standards are kind of at least consistent. I believe that the second option there gives you a guts improvement. I don't know. You get this literally every game, and I have not bothered to remember what it actually is. It might also increase your friendship with the director. So you get 253 skill points, which isn't that many realistically. View from the leader's mind is really not very useful unless you are playing a front runner. But it can activate like late. It's just like it seems like it's kind of a win more when it does kick in. These are, I should have mentioned. So skills activate at certain points in races. Their activation triggers are mostly stated in the descriptions, but the descriptions are otherwise incredibly vague, especially if you don't know what the fuck anything means. So like there's decreased fatigue, there's also ones that recover endurance, which are all related to stamina in some way, but I genuinely don't know what the difference is between endurance and fatigue, unless endurance is just when they're talking about it going up and fatigue is when they're talking about it going down, which could make sense. A lot of people tell you not to get skills early. I think that this is, frankly, hogwash. I think that that's only true if you have good cards and good inspiration and can just win on stats. If you're new to the game, just get stats all the time. This race is a mile race. And I think the last mile race that I do, which means that I don't need to get these long skills because they will not activate. Homestretch haste is generally good. I don't have any hints for it. When you get hints, you get discounts, and the discounts are very important. So, I should wait. But I am not sure how good I am right now. I'm also going to take Lone Wolf, because as far as I'm aware, the AI will never have Lone Wolf. It is a skill that will just always moderately increase performance, whatever that means. Okay. So it's a G3, but I have to place top 5. Genuinely, apparently I didn't win on the one other career that I did with her. So I don't think I'm going to win this. I might, but I don't know how likely it actually is. I am the #1 fave, though.
上空には灰色の空が広がる京都レース場。
I can't say enough good things about the announcer, though. I feel like the announcer's voiceover is very exciting. I feel like it nails
special week.
Whatever it is that they're going for, the excitement, the intensity. It is a late start there. That's pretty bad actually, but we'll see what happens. Because late start's a very good chance of getting boxed in and not being able to pass people and get into good position. In which case we get to experience using an alarm clock, which everyone's gonna love because we get to watch the same race a second time. But yeah, I don't know. I love the announcers. I do think you will notice that they like swap in character names, which makes sense. They don't want to re-record all of this dialogue for every different character and allows them to reuse some of the stuff that they have. But it's very funny, the change in inflection, especially when they get very intense. So keep an ear out for that. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. I'm not gonna get plastered in the middle of this because it's gonna take so long, and I just need something to get me through it. That's not what I'm here for.
これだけ密集していると紛れがありそうですね。第4コーナーカーブ。ウマ娘たちがどう動くか目が離せません。まだ先頭は動かない。このまま直線での争いになるのか。スペシャルウィーク。うちで様子伺う。よし、見ててね、お母ちゃん。残り4分。最終コーナー。最初に駆け抜けてきたのは4分。外から上がってきたのは成田ブライアン。外から飛んできたのはスペシャルウィーク。成田ブライアン並んできた200を通過。成田ブライアンすごい足だ。成田ブライアンここで抜け出した成田ブライアン足色は衰える。お見事成田ブライアン着差以上の
So it looks like I barely won that one. And when I say win, I do mean get in 5th. Which is enough to proceed with the career, unfortunately. Yep. Yeah. But see, all of that insight, if I, like, because I knew I got that late start, and I knew that because I got that late start, it was going to be a difficult time for me to get out of it, because my stats are now high enough to just, like, make it work in that way. Because sometimes you just are very fast and strong and can't just do it, and it's not a problem. But you don't have any of that insight if you skip the race, which sometimes it doesn't matter. Like in that case, I just got kind of a bad roll of the die. But then there's also times when you genuinely can look at the race and kind of figure out what's going on stat-wise and like what you need to work on. So there is merit to watching the races. It's not like a completely superfluous mechanic. We haven't done classic year, most likely. Oh yeah, I actually have to do some side races before the next goal race. So we'll see this, but there is like a unique mechanic at the end of what is I don't know what you call them, optional races or like elective races that you can do that regards like how much energy you lose. The goal races don't have like a downside to doing them, which is good. But because you get a lot of skill points for doing races, there is one in the form of energy loss, so we'll get to see that here in a little bit. I am concerned. Personally, a little concerned about the fact that I probably could have actually just done a recreation there, but we'll see. Probably doesn't matter that much. But I'm a little concerned that every career does seem like you are dating the horse, which, once again, I don't know a lot about horse racing. I don't think is how it normally is. And I don't know. It's kind of, I mean, I understand gacha games. I don't understand gacha games, but I have like a basic understanding of gacha games. And the fact that every horse is female, and there's a lot of taking them out for dinner and going to karaoke with them and going to the boardwalk or whatever the hell else, it does feel intimate in a way that I find strange because it is it's a horse game. I don't know if I'm being, I feel like I'm not being prudish. I feel like it's just kind of odd. What is our next race? Is it a medium? This is a medium. So I do need to care about stamina at least a little bit. But I am just gonna take this rainbow. Oh. This character looks so strange when they're like fully on screen. Because she looks like not like a child, but like a shrunken down adult. And they talk about the director as being specifically a small person. Like that is a character trait of hers. Also, she has a cat on her hat, which I don't know, I just noticed, which seems like an insane thing. I don't know if it's only in this scene or if it's all the time and I just literally hadn't noticed till just now. But presumably this trainer is just like a young person, but is scaled weirdly to my eye. I don't know. I'm concerned that she's not doing the hard-hitting journalism that her job necessitates. I don't know if she has a dedication to the truth or if she's just kind of an optimist. Okay, so that's advertising, right? That was, meaning that was the gist of that event, was that we were doing advertising. I do know, I did watch the, like, story, the main story, and the event stories, for the sake of having some understanding for the podcast. So I do know that Kita-san Black and something Diamond. I actually have her card. Oh, that's not her. That's one of the racers. I don't know the characters that well. But she has like a rivalry / friendship with another like younger horse. So when she mentioned that character, I did not immediately go, who? Unfortunately, it does not appear as though that acupuncture event killed my run, so we are going to have to continue playing. I apologize in advance. I guess you have the ability to just leave, but as I'm creating the video, I cannot. I don't really have a whole lot to say about anything that just happened in those last couple of events. They felt sort of pointless. This is inspiration. This is mechanically important. I think twice during the oh, you have to click a lot when you aren't in skip mode. It happens twice during the career, where you will get this large group of stat increases and sometimes hints. 3 hit levels for corner adept is actually pretty good. Oh, and I'm only 3 turns until the race. That's not a great sign. Am I? I don't think I'm capable of winning in G2. I could be wrong. You check the predictions. I rarely do this. This is about what my stats always look like. A single circle means that, like, you're fine, and then a double circle means that you're doing good, and then the triangle means that you are... They consider your stat under-leveled for the race that you're looking at. But because apparently Guts isn't fully functional right now, I don't know how much that matters. Though sometimes the game will tell you that your Guts were lacking. So I don't exactly know how much of that is true. Yeah, I mean, we might as well. We got 3 turns, and I'm actively rooting against myself to some degree, so let's run this race. I don't know if I am dumb or if I just misread that, but I may have been talking about pace chasing for this entire time, and our character's actually set to be a late starter. That's kind of funny. And also great because the longer this goes on, the less likely anyone is to be watching it. I am hoping that I'm making it entertaining for the people who do choose to watch it, but my god. I had another late start. This is because my wit is really bad. I haven't trained it, I think, at all. Maybe like once. And that is just objectively a mistake that I've been making. And having a low wit means that I also am not having a good time of getting my races done properly. Getting a lot of late starts. I haven't seen a rush yet, but also we've done 3 races, so like, I guess we'll find out. That might come up in a bit. Oh, you know, there is a setting in the game to play a longer ult animation every time that you ult, but I don't have that enabled. I don't think it's enabled by default, so that's the excuse I'm gonna use. Also, unfortunately, we did win the race, so the game continues. That is another way that this could be longer, but I am not gonna adjust options mid-run for the sake of making this take even longer than it already is. Oh, but I did get the New Zealand trophy. So that's nice. Tell you what, if we do make it all the way to the end, And when I say we, I mean both myself and the viewer. And I don't mean win, I mean just to the end of however long this takes to either succeed or fail. I'll do a 10 pull so everybody can have a brief moment of excitement and dopamine. 2 turns till the Japanese Derby, which is a medium. I think there's a chance that I already checked that. Alright, I have 2 people on wit. I might as well get it out of the way now. And by get it out of the way, I mean do 1 training when I should have been doing it for a long time. I think potentially the names of the characters are the strongest part of this game's theming. Because Agnes Tachyon and Manhattan Cafe are just fantastic names in the tradition of great horse racing names. So I'm glad that they kept that part of it. Though they give characters nicknames all the time. Like you've probably noticed. That's maybe being generous. I don't know if this is holding everyone's attention enough for them to have noticed. That Special Week occasionally goes by Spe, or I think is how you would pronounce that, just SPE. I know Gold Ship goes by Golshi sometimes. I feel like it kind of loses a little bit of the charm because most of the nicknames don't feel like they are that inspired. This is what you talk about 1 hour and 27 minutes into a no skip UmaMusume Run. I do a rainbow speed training, so we are going to do that for our last turn here. I should see if I have the skill points for that cornering skill that I got. I feel like almost like the world that Pokemon sets up in its games. The world of UmaMusume is like fucking gaga for horse racing. Like, these are presumably like children or, you know, like teens or whatever. Doing these races, and like every single person on the planet seems to show up for every event. There's like thousands of people in the crowd. They go to the concerts afterward. They have these press conferences like they're in the fucking NBA. It is an absolute phenomenon. I don't know if it was a lore drop that Special Week has 2 moms. But that's great if that's true. It also places the trainer squarely in the father figure role, which is... I think reinforces my assertion that the way that the horses act around you is weird. I think I am probably going to take Corner Adept here. We're in the mediums now. I'm concerned to a degree about our performance in longs. Just because it takes a lot of stamina, but we'll see. I'll take this for now and go down to a big 17 skill points, which is totally fine. Absolutely no problem at all. Yeah, I've been late every time. And just like did not even think about it. I'm sure it's fine. I haven't taken any skills that are specific to pace chasers as far as I can remember, so it should be good. I don't think that there's that much of a difference. I want to say that late surgers do not need as much stamina, which is probably good. This is probably why even before I had any idea what I was doing in this game, I was able to win a run with this character. So is that maybe I was helped out a bit by the default settings. Oh, so I mentioned earlier that I am not entirely a stranger to gacha games. I know that I talked a bit about Pokemon TCG Pocket on a stream one time. A VOD of that will go up at some point in the future. I promise. I just haven't done it yet. Which is a gacha game in like to a large extent. It's a game with like energy where you get packs on a timer and you have pulls and they're rares and ultra rare cosmetic rewards and stuff like that. But I do play a more traditional gacha game, Wuthering Waves, which is a silly name, but it is it's like an action RPG, very much in the style of a Genshin Impact. But to me, just like I like the combat of the game. But I have an idea of how the genre typically works, and I'm sure I'll talk about this. Okay, I'm rushed here, which means that I may just come in last, straight up. So we'll see how it works out. But yeah, the way that the genre works, I have like a basic understanding of. And one thing, and I'm definitely going to talk about this on the podcast. You've probably already heard me say it. The amount of time, and I realize that this is a comedy video about a thing that no one should or will ever do, which is watch all of this at regular speed. The amount of time that it takes to do even just like the daily rewards in this game is so comically long compared to Wuthering Waves, which is my only point of reference. So maybe this is more normal and Wuthering Waves is very short. But I feel like I can get my dailies done in that game in like 10 minutes. And in this game, you are playing for like about an hour because you have to do an entire career, which even with skip-on can take 30 to 40 minutes. Which I assume goes up like the more comfortable you get with it, but like from the beginning, it feels kind of bad. And that's not to say anything about I love how we have to watch her sadly, dejectedly run along. 6th place is not gonna do it. Alright, yeah, so this is your retry mechanic. You can use an alarm clock. You have, I believe, 3 attempts. Or you can use, so 4 attempts, you can use 3 alarm clocks per career. And they're an item that you like buy with currency in the game. And it allows you to retry a race. I'm tempted to end it, but I will use up the alarm clocks. We're gonna drag this out for as long as we can without trying super hard, I suppose. So we'll run this back. If I don't get rushed, then I feel like I'm probably fine as far as like placing here. but we'll see. But on gacha games, I don't know if this is a thing that I will talk about on the podcast or not, 'cause it's kind of a more of a general topic. I think that like there's an like a common opinion currently, not among like I think it's a vocal minority kind of situation, where a minority of people are vocal about it, and a majority of people don't care and don't think about it at all. But that live service games, which gacha games are essentially, because they need to keep you engaged, keep releasing new content for you to pay money, because that's their business model. That all live service games are just bad, which I genuinely don't think is true. I think it is a good model. I think that the monetization is obviously where the problem is. But gacha games, I feel like, are on an entirely different level of the monetization being just abysmal in a very strange way. Most of them offer like a low risk, low reward option. Like this game has a like a daily carrot, like the premium currency, a daily pack of premium currency that you can buy for a fairly low price, but like you're drip fed the resources over a long period. But to buy a bunch of currency all at once costs like a huge amount of money, and the drop rates are so low. This is why I'm never going to be like a whale in a gacha game, because I am not a gambler at heart. I'm a gambler in games, but it doesn't cross that line into like real life. But I know a lot of people who are, and spending money on games is not a thing that they think about. And I think that if you're responsible, I'm sure it's fine or whatever. That's not really the point. The point is that the amount of money that they expect you to spend on these honestly very minor changes in gameplay is crazy. And the amount of people who are willing to do it is, I think, a little bit problematic as far as the health of the genre goes. Because it seems like everything is just going up and up. Like, even when I played live service like shooter games, the cost of cosmetics was up to like $30 for a skin on a character in a first-person shooter, which feels like inflation is a real thing, I suppose, but $30 for a skin feels really excessive. But people would still pay it, and I would be curious to see sort of like studies on this kind of thing. Not studies. I don't like not believe the things that I hear about it. It's more, I'm just interested in like what it is that people are finding worth it in games like this, I guess. I don't know. I have complicated feelings about the topics. I don't think live service is a bad way to design a game inherently, but I do think that it is, in the current state, perhaps inherently predatory. Which I think, I don't know, maybe we should look into. Unfortunately, we did win that race. And by win, I mean we placed, so we will continue the training. Also, notably, we're in late May. A couple of events coming up. I actually don't know the dates on the career calendar specifically. But we're going to have our first summer vacation. During summer vacation, all of your training is upgraded to level 4? Question mark? I think it's level 4. So that you can get a lot of training done, but you want to go in with as much energy as you can have. Though if you have like a lower mood, sometimes it's worth it to go in slightly under max energy so you can get a rest, because it also counts as recreation during summer camp. But that will start in early July. This could be a good opportunity for me to train wit, so... El Condor Pasa is one of the few characters that you can recognize from this portrait, because she, I think, is the only one that wears a mask, which is a great decision in that case. Meanwhile, I think Grass Wonder and Silent Suzuka look and act almost identically from my limited experience. I'm sure that would upset someone, but I can almost personally guarantee you that that someone isn't watching this right now. So I feel pretty safe. I want to say there's like a, I don't know, this is like, I guess kind of a minor issue that I take with the way that this game works, but ties in sort of to the gacha economy that I was talking about earlier, is a lot of what makes gacha games popular, or characters in gacha games popular, it comes down to like artistic design, right? Like the design of each of the characters it being unique enough to sort of curry favor from different kinds of players, and having something that appeals to a lot of people is very important to the character designs in these games. And so they spend a lot of time on them. And I don't think that it's necessarily different in this game. Like, I think that they did spend a lot of time on making the characters be unique and stand out in some way. I'm going to take a wit and then a rest, probably. But they weirdly bar... Maybe this is working as intended and I am just not the kind of person that's appealing to. When you have a 3-star characters, which are like your... they'd be called like super rares or some shit in other gacha games, like the highest rarity characters that you can get, the premium characters. I'm gonna do laps to increase my wit? Question mark? Interesting. Anyway, they will always run in like you can see this like pink outfit that Special Week has on is her 3-star outfit. But any characters that are 1 or 2-star run in like a basic outfit. But unlock, they have another outfit. It isn't like those characters just don't have them. But they run in a uniform prior to... I certainly don't need to be wasting time. Prior to getting them to 3 stars. There's ways to upgrade them, which is why this mechanic can even exist. And I don't know, that feels like I would feel if I was a fan of pulling for characters in games, which in some degree I am, which I guess I could talk about during the next race. I feel like I would be less motivated if most of the characters that I got were going to have like a more basic design that just like was less exciting. But hey, I'm not the target audience, I don't think. So maybe that's motivating. Maybe it's like, oh, if I pull a whole bunch and get a lot of duplicates, then I can, upgrade my character to have a higher or a more appealing visual design. I think I am gonna go wait because our speed and stamina trainings are not that exciting. I do like that there's like a full game show set up on this beach though. Oh my god. This is 28 speed. 13 speed and 4 characters. I think we're trying guts. Oh, it goes to, it actually is level 5. The other thing that comes up in the classic here is there's a race in late October. I'm not sure if we're hit. I think we might have a race on that day. I feel like a lot of careers have a race on that day. That gives you like 30,000 fans if you win. And it's pretty great to have a lot of fans early because it allows you to level up your ultimate ability sooner and potentially to a higher level than you would have otherwise. As well as giving you the skill points. Running races is a good idea. I just feel like I never feel like I have enough stats. But maybe that's a thing that I would just have to learn over time. Like how many stats are enough and when running races is a good idea. This is more what I expect from a game that has this much text in it. They're talking about how they caught like a super big fish and it's just showing a static image of the sky. So I am impressed when like why did she walk off screen? That felt like such an unnecessary animation. But it's there. But then they don't do the more interesting animation of the fish coming in and them catching the fish and being like, whoa, what a big fish. I don't know. Maybe I feel like the priorities are in odd places. I guess the walking animation can be used a lot and the fish animation can only be used once. I'm not an actual idiot. I'm just kind of saying stuff. I'm not sure. It'd be tragic if we failed this. We did not, so that's great. Love that for us. You can get some kind of insane stat gains in summer, and we might see it in the next year if we make it there. Because there are if you get multiple friendship trainings, they kind of stack on top of each other, so you can really hit some like 60 plus stat increases, which is kind of insane. I am seeing because I didn't take 2 stamina cards for for my deck, despite the fact that I have long races. I likely should have, because I'm noticing I haven't really been getting opportunities to raise the friendship of the 1 stamina card I do have, and hitting the stamina friendship training, so my stamina is not as high as it could be. But perhaps it's made up for in how much speed I have, but I kind of don't think so. I felt like I've tried both of these, and neither of them are that good. Oh, that one recovers energy, so that's actually super good, and I was just forgetting. Look at all these people on Wit. I gotta do Wit here. Wit gives you a little bit of speed. Wit always just feels like, because it recovers energy, it's like not a high stat gain stat to boost. And I've read different breakpoints in different places, and like apparently like front runners want a lot of Wit because they need to not falter so that they can like maintain the lead, etc., etc. But I kind of go for like 300. I feel like that's like the most wit that I really need to have most of the time. But who knows, maybe that is not good. I've been using this card that has like a tokusatsu, like rope giant mech character on it, who has like a carrot emblem. Because the only SSR I have that I've gotten a duplicate of, which getting duplicates in this game, this is more on that gacha economy thing, where this game encourages you to get duplicates of all the things that you pull for, which is insane. Because the drop rates are so low and it's so expensive to do rolls that, like, when are you ever gonna have duplicates? And the answer is if you're willing to spend thousands of dollars, is basically what it is. But yeah, it's the only SSR that I have a duplicate on, and duplicates allow you to uncap, which allow you to level it up, which increases its stats, etc., etc. It's all the stuff that you would expect. But I do love that the one that I have the uncap on is the one with the, like, silly Power Rangers character on it. Wow. I've leveled up from studying to reading. That's another one that, like, I've used that Sleep Taisho card in, I think, every game that I've played, like, since I've gotten it. And I don't remember what those do at any time. 120 skill points, not enough for literally anything of note. So I guess we save. This is our first long race, and we have 331 stamina. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic, because I've said this over the last, like, 3 races, but, like, I don't feel extremely strong about whether I'm gonna win this race or not. So I guess we'll find out. Oh boy. Right. What I was going to talk about during this race, which is you see my mouse going for that skip button. Oh, you can't see my mouse, actually. My mouse is going for the skip button, you just have to believe me. But yeah. Gacha is an interesting genre for me, because I feel like it's so bogged down in its monetization model that it hurts the very good mechanic that gacha provides, which is it can be a game that forces you to do things, play with characters or weapons or cards or what have you, whatever the mechanic of the game is on that day, that you have to adapt to. Like, they are randomly assigned to you by a chance-based system, which is very cool. It's a thing that I like. I always like when games have, like, random character options for that reason, but it does it in a way that, like, is very slow. It's not like you get a character and then if you don't like the character you can just jettison the run and get a new character, because it would cost you money to do that. If you had like a fully designed single player game that had a gacha system, and I am gonna have to say kind of like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where the currency was built into the game I feel like that's a compelling loop. I feel like wanting to sort of having to learn a character and like all of its facets like you would a character in a fighting game because you're stuck with them for a long period of time. And then being able to get new units later by learning that character and doing well. That sounds compelling to me in a way that like I would enjoy seeing more games like that. My enjoyment of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like very medium. Like I think it's a good game, but there are other elements of the game that detract from it. But I do think that the gacha part of it is kind of cool. And I do kind of wish that it was more commonly used outside of it being a monetization model, which is a bummer because it is like, because it means that for some people you can quickly change characters by just throwing more money into the game. And then you run into those predatory issues a little bit. I'm gonna let the rest of this play out because I'm sore from talking after waking up early. Give me 1 second. I don't want the takeaway to anybody with the dedication to have watched all of this is to be, I'm a giant fan of both gacha games and live service games, because that's not really the case. I just feel like people are sort of throwing the baby out with the bathwater when they discount both systems because of the way that they're monetized. Because both things are like interesting gameplay models that, like, live service is just more stuff for a game, which is very beneficial for games that like to have a shake-up instead of settling into a single playstyle. We will try it again, by the way. We're not going to completely throw it out, but with any luck, this is going to be our last race. I will have to determine, because I was going to call this video One UmaMusume Career, but or potentially One UmaMusume Run or something. But if we lose it and I can call it One Failed UmaMusume Run, that might actually be funnier. I will consult with the squad after this. You know, I never brought this up when we talked about it. If you listen to the end of the Talos Principle 2 episode, then you already kind of know this, but the impetus for doing this game, well, one is Northern Lion, because I am a viewer and I saw this game from that, and I brought it up to JJ because I know he's more... Honestly, it's hard to say exactly. He was more into anime when we were younger. But I think that he just has like more friends who are into it nowadays, and he's more interested in other pursuits at this stage in his life. I don't want to speak for him, but that's the impression I get. And so I asked him about it. I was just like, hey, did you see Horse Game? And how it's like very popular on Twitch and stuff right now, which is wild. I understand now that I've played it, like the racing especially is great for streaming because you can just sort of talk about whatever while it's happening. And it still is like visually interesting and provides some amount of like excitement from people. But I asked him about it and his immediate reaction was very negative. Because apparently he had seen some of the anime and thought that it was awful. But we talked about it for a little bit, just sort of bantering back and forth, and he came to the conclusion that it would probably be funny to do an episode on it, which is why we are here. But I do wonder, since he left doing the podcast regularly so long ago, if this is going to scar his reputation among listeners. It's like, oh, it's the guy who shows up for the end of year thing and also for your Horse Game. So that could be something to think about, I guess. I don't know. We'll need to get him back on for something a little less ridiculous, perhaps. I do feel like I am fully boxed in and not even making an attempt to pass right now, so this is not looking like a great run for me. I will probably ult, though. It seems like conditions are right. Yep. The actual description of almost all of the alt text in this game is, like, at level 1, is slightly improve, like slightly increase velocity or whatever it is. Like, it never seems like the kind of thing that is making a huge difference when they activate, but it has this animation which sells it as this big thing. And later in the game, if you level up your ult, it can be a bigger boost. But I do find it amusing that you ult and do this like big animation and the camera zooms in, and then you just absolutely get dumpstered, like is what just happened. This is our last attempt, and with any luck, we'll lose. Here's what I will do, though. I am going to change up to Pace Chaser. Because I'm wondering if I am losing because I have... Well, I'm losing because my stamina is too low. Let's be perfectly clear. My stamina is too low for a long race. And I... Probably, anyway. And so I don't think that I'm able to maintain my speed. But we're going to try this because maybe breaking out of the pack early, if I can maintain it. This may just be putting more stress on my stamina, and then I will lose faster. But hey, I guess we'll find out, right? But it's you lose twice in a row on one strategy. It feels like you might as well switch it up just for the sake of saying that you tried something new. 菊花賞を制し最強の称号を手にするのは誰だ。1番人気はもちろんこの子キングヘイロー。実力は負けていません。2番人気セイウンスカイスペシャルウィーク。現在3番人気下克上は起こりうるのか。火花散らすデッドヒートに期待しましょう。ゲートイン完了。出走の準備が整いました。さあゲートが開いた。Wow. Starting on a late start is probably not going to bode extremely well for how this goes, but I guess we'll see. As a potential plus for the way that they handle like the Uma costumes, I do like the fact that as you go through a career, your opponents will start off in like the trainee racing outfits and then into the uniforms, and then as you get later they will have their signature uniforms, which does show like your opponent's growth, so that you know that like your competition is also leveling up. It's a good way to show that. So that's something. That's not literally nothing. I don't remember what Special Week's ult condition is, despite me calling that I would probably get it in the last one, so I don't know if I'm going to get an ult in Pace Chaser. But if I do, this might have been a good idea. I'm not sure. I'm leading the Pace Chaser pack, which is why I'm saying that, but I'm not 100% sure if that's great. I've been told that your Uma's posture in the race is indicative of how much stamina they've spent, but I don't know if it's good or bad if you are like standing straight up like mine appears to be, just running at kind of a leisurely pace. I don't know if that means I'm not expending my power to... Yeah, see, I'm leaning forward now.
その後11番その後ろ16番意気揚々と先頭を行きますマヤのトップガン
And getting past also.
かかり気味かもしれないです。息を入れるタイミングがあればいいですが、
第4コーナーカーブ
勝負どころ、最後の直線へとかけていきます。
この直線で勝負が決まるぞ
Oh, here we go. Homestretch haste activates. That's that wit training in action right there. TM Opera is so far ahead that it's like a comedy. For the rest of us, we're all just fighting for second place. She's ahead by like a million lengths. Fully like ninth or something. Well, I'm so sorry that I could not have provided a eighth. My counting ability is slightly off. This was not a Cinderella story, unfortunately. This was just not a good run. And I did specifically throw it. But I think that 2 hours makes my point pretty clear. We are... Hold on. We're about halfway through the career at 2 hours. I wasn't trying to prove a point, but my point is don't skip. Activate skip. Don't ever play this normally. It's like it's the trade-off between doing the game at maximum speed, where you can actually get things done at all, versus playing it at slow speed to read all of the text. The trade-off is not worth it at all. And it's insane that it's even an option. And I feel like they could save a lot of time by just putting less text in the game. But yeah. I'm gonna take Lucky 7. It's a skill that you should probably not take ever. Oh my god, I got an achievement? I got a D+ and a 1-star power. Well, there you go. That's it. And as I promised, go click through all the stuff. Get 3 coins. I'm not going to edit the team because I can guarantee you that that isn't going to do anything. Expired exchange points have been... Okay. That's cool. Alright, we'll do a temple here. Is this going to be the time that I get Kita-san Black? Everybody hold your breath. No, it isn't. I find it's interesting that this game has like 2... This is going to be podcast content and has nothing to do with the scope of this video. But I find it funny that this game has 2 different banners to pull on. Well, it has like a million, like all the gacha games do. Like the cards and the horses. And the cards are like a much better pull, but are so unexciting in every conceivable way. It just feels terrible. So that's all I'm gonna say. If you watched this whole thing, you're a fucking masochist, first of all. But thanks. I hope that you also listen to the episode so that I can more accurately go over my thoughts and bounce ideas off of other people. I think that whatever we talk about will probably end up being more interesting than whatever this was. But I'm glad that you hung out if you did. Fucking race for that like and subscribe button or whatever we choose to say at the end of the podcast. And I'm gonna go do other things with my life for a long time that aren't this. See you later.